Well, here's an update from the region now. A quarter of a century ago, Rwanda went into turmoil, witnessing the worst recorded genocide on the African continent. Within 100 days, nearly 1 million people had lost their lives in brutal killings. This in remembrance of that genocide in a series of events that are taking place this week in Rwanda. Now, Sam Gituku is there and he covered the first international conference on the matter.
Well, it's been 25 years since that genocide of 1994 that left 1 million people dead in Rwanda, majority of them the Abatutsi community. Of course, what we know is that the genocide is popularly referred to as the genocide against the Abatutsi, the perpetrators, majority of them being from the Hutu community. The other numbers that we have is that the genocide left at least 2 million people homeless, displaced, refugees, and 300,000 people were orphaned. These are children that have now grown to their adulthood currently. Of course, they're carrying on with their lives. But perhaps the more deeper and difficult question would be, how does a country that has lost 1 million people from its population recover from the effects of genocide?
In this process, I think some wounds, some trauma, some mistrust were healed by the good leadership. But of course, 25 years, I think it's not that enough time to heal every wound, because we still have our parents that give the different messages. Some of them, they are denials, others they understand what is going on.
Little wonder then that Rwanda no longer permits politicians to mobilize on ethnic grounds. There are no Tutsis or Hutus, only Rwandans.
There has been a conference that will be taking 2 days before marking the 25th anniversary of the genocide on the 7th of April, that is on Sunday. And the various speakers who've been here have been talking about how to deal with the trauma. Of course, we've been listening to some of the witnesses, the young people that time who were about 10 or even less, but now they witnessed some of their neighbors being killed. One of them was saying that he was in hospital and witnessed the killing of another person who was a patient.
I myself saw people killing others, and I didn't have answer or information about it. So my mom was there to take care because I was sick. I was hospitalized in this hospital. In the morning, the killers came and they took over Pascal under my bed and they cut his neck. They killed the baby as well. My mom told me that they are killing this man and this baby because they are Tutsis, and she reminded me that we are Hutus. But the answer of my mom did not make sense when I found my teacher's body in the compound. I remember I went back and I told my mom, you told me they are killing Tutsis, but they are not only killing Tutsis, they are even killing teachers. And I told my mom, if they are killing teachers, in a few minutes, they will be killing students as well. And I was a student. I was somehow concerned. And my mom told me, your teacher is a Tutsi as well.
To continue this trajectory in terms of development, but at the same time promote the freedoms and the democracies that they are striving to ensure that they happen. Because you recall that before that genocide, there was a contestation between the two communities that time, obviously being one of them was feeling left out in government. Of course, one of them trying to impose themselves against the other. So how do they ensure that you continue with the journey of democracy, but don't forget, not to forget the effects of genocide and ensuring that it doesn't happen once again?
Let the blood of the victims and the stench in the country 25 years ago continue to water and invigorate unity, development, growth, and progress in Rwanda.
In the generations to come, where perpetrators will not be around, the next generation of the grandchildren and children of perpetrators, how they will be held accountable for the sins they didn't commit, if accountability matters for the generations and the generations to come.
Their children and grandchildren cannot be punished, but there should be a continuing education and not denial of genocide. genocide that happened here against Tutsi, in my opinion, we should talk about it all the time with the intention of not making it to happen again.
And so every speaker after speaker emphasizing the importance of remembering this day. Of course, you recall that some of the challenges that Kenya faces is how do you continue with this narrative that there has been atrocities carried out against some people or certain communities? How do you continue with that and at the same time promote national unity? So the speakers here are saying that you have also to be very careful so that you continue to remember, but you ensure that you don't cross the limits, because if you do, then there is a possibility of such kind of atrocities recurring, be it in the future. So we'll continue to cover these proceedings, these events that will be preceding the 25th anniversary on Sunday. We'll be sure to bring you the images and of course the voices that we hear from this side on Citizen TV on our various programs. Back to you in Nairobi. My name is Sam Gituku from Kigali, Rwanda.